Hello, ladies and gentlemen. MarauderEX here with kind of an introduction. This is episode 0 of my Let's Play of Battle Chasers Nightwar. And I'm doing episode 0 instead of just starting with episode 1 because the game, Battle Chasers Nightwar, takes place in the already established Battle Chasers universe. And so I wanted to take some time to kind of give a little bit of a brief introduction of the characters and the world that we are jumping into with this, because if you have not read the comics, and many haven't, then jumping into the game you're going to be like, okay, what's going on, why? There's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of backstory that could easily be missed, and I kind of want to illuminate this. This was one of my favorite comics growing up. This comic was a huge inspiration to a lot of the tabletop pen and paper RPGs that I have ever played, and since then it has really seeped itself into what I feel is a really well-developed, well-designed fantasy sci-fi universe. So the universe itself, mana is the source of all magic. It also powers technology. So you've got magitech, weapons, armor, all sorts of things. But then it also just powers general magic. And it's been on the decline. So things are looking a little bleak for this world, and there seems to be a lot of things going on behind the scenes in this world that we don't know about. Some of the things that we do know about revolve around the characters. And first off, I'm going to name all of the characters. We've got Gully, Monica, Garrison, Calbretto, and Nolan. Those are all of the established characters. There is a character specific to Nightwar named Alumon. I'm not going to be discussing him because I have a feeling his entire story is going to be expressed throughout the game because he was created for the game. But the other 5 are already established in the universe. So let's go ahead and talk about them. We've got Gully. She is the daughter of the legendary hero Aramis. His gauntlets gave him an absurd amount of strength. They are magically enchanted. They give him the power to move mountains. And there seems to be a lot of power hidden in them that we don't know about. So what happened was Aramis vanished. Just vanished into the ether. No one knows what happened to him. No one knows where he's gone. He left his family behind, mostly his daughter Gully. One night, Gully's house is attacked by lycanthropes, some sort of wolf people that can transform, and her house is destroyed, and she goes running with the gauntlets, and she's backed into a corner and forced to put them on, at which point she gains an immense amount of strength and just murders all of her would-be attackers. But she's a child. She's unused to the toll combat like that can take on you, and did not handle things well. During her escape, she runs into Calbretto, the war golem. Calbretto is a relic of one of the previous great wars. War golems were created to lay siege to anything and everything. They have an immense amount of power as their body can kind of shift into different forms of weaponry. Calbretto is thought to be the last of the war golems, but it seems like that's not the case. But he, unlike other war golems, seems to be learning. He has very much a data complex from Star Trek, where he's learning what life means and what it means to be alive. And so Calbretto also aided in Gully's protection from her would-be attackers. So they've bonded rather well. Calbretto travels with Nolan, the sorcerer wizard supreme. Nolan is one of the oldest and most powerful magic users the world has ever seen. He's also really a grumpy, crotchety old man. He's lived a lot longer than he should, and even says so in the comics that he's cheated death more than once. And the more I see of him, the more I think that is a literal sense. Like, he has cheated death. But being one of the most powerful spellcasters in the world, he's also very attuned to the magic of the world, and he feels that Aramis's disappearance, Gully's taking the gauntlets, and her, the attempt on her life, are actually things that are all interconnected, and so he travels with Calibretto, protecting Gully. Next up, we have Garrison. Garrison was the strongest, most well-known swordsman in the realm. His power was second only to Aramis himself, and they were the best of friends. They were brothers in arms. Garrison looked up to Aramis, thought of him as a mentor, and really as a father, to a degree. And then Garrison's life crumbled around him. He was to be married, he was building a house for his wife. On the day of their wedding, his wife was murdered, and that sent him into a drunken depression, and he just fell off the face of the planet. Garrison has a magic sword of really untold power that he actually used. He placed it inside his wife's headstone. But Garrison was called back into service by another former mentor of his by telling him that Aramis's daughter has gone missing and is presumed dead. So Garrison tries to sober up as quickly as possible, reclaims his sword, and goes off into battle, where he ends up encountering Calibretto, Nolan, and Gully, as basically the world is being attacked by a bunch of escaped, magically enhanced criminals. The last character is Monica, Red Monica. She is a thief, mercenary, assassin, bounty hunter, bodyguard, basically any job that pays well. She's also childhood friends with Garrison. They grew up together, they learned how to sword fight together, they learned about the world together, but then they went on completely divergent paths. Garrison chose to join the Martial Paladins. Monica turned to a life of crime because she knew the Martial Paladins would not accept someone like her. There's not a lot of information as to what that means, but it sounds like maybe that they were commoners, and the Martial Paladins not really fond of the commoner class, or there could be some other, social aspect that would have kept her at odds with the Martial Paladins. But they went on opposite sides of things, but there's a lot of history and a lot of tension between the two. Monica seems like she has feelings for Garrison and vice versa, but given the fact that Garrison's still dealing with the fact that he lost his would-be wife, there's a lot of history there that's really awkward and will probably play out in some way, shape, or form in the story. So yeah, this universe, this world, everything is already pre-established. There are, I think, 12 issues of the comic that came out before it was discontinued. There will be more issues coming out as part of the Kickstarter campaign that brought us Nightwar. So we will get a little more information about the world and maybe, a continuation of the story. Nightwar takes place with all of these characters already established in this world, but this is more of a side story. It is not, to my knowledge, part of the universe itself in terms of the comic story. So it's very interesting to see how this goes. This is, I don't know if this is more of a what-if story or just more like the equivalent of like the Shining Force Gaiden games, where it's, a same universe, same characters, but like just completely unrelated Final Fantasy style story. I'm very curious to see how that all plays out. So, but I do know that the game really does kind of start you off right in the middle of everything, and it's like, hey, these are the characters, not much, background into them, which also sadly means there's not a ton of character development that will go on, because it is kind of a side story to the world, whereas all of the main character development takes place within the comic. So I know a lot of people were a little hard on it for that aspect, looking at it from just the game perspective. And just the game perspective, yes, there is a lot of lacking information. There is a lack of character development. The characters don't really grow too much over time. But we do get, you know, a look into who they are at the moment, which is actually quite a big deal, given the fact that the comic, you know, was put on hiatus for over a decade. So that's an impressive feat to me. The fact that this game was made at all is an impressive feat to me. I know the Kickstarter had a lot of speed bumps and hiccups along the way. There was a lot of delays. There was a lot of production issues. There was a lot of back and forth, especially for the Switch version, which is what I am going to be playing on, that was hard to receive and put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths about this. But I really feel like Airship Syndicate did all that they could for this. I know the Switch version was not part of the original Kickstarter. I am a little disappointed that it was so heavily promoted when it was announced that it would be coming out ASAP with the other versions, only to be like, yeah, no, there's a problem, it's going to be delayed. It was delayed by 7 months, which is kind of rough. So, but I've been really excited for this game. I could have Let's Played it forever ago on the PS4 or Steam, but I knew there's going to be some grinding to this because it's a very old school JRPG. So having it on the Switch, where I have that portability, was really just a huge selling point to me, and I don't mind waiting a little bit of extra time in order to play this game in the most comfortable way possible. So I hope you've enjoyed episode 0 of Battle Chasers Nightwar. I hope it gives a little bit of information about the characters, about the universe, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about everything as the game progresses. So yes, I look forward to playing this. I look forward to Let's Playing it. I look forward to all of you joining me on this Let's Play. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot tell you how excited I am to play this. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the Let's Play, and I cannot wait to see you guys all the way through and to the end. So till then, later everyone.